he asserted or did yet many other quite secretive things. So for example, also that he simply transmuted himself into invisibility, which was again, however, based on nothing other than his hypnotic powers, through which he let his observers live in the delusion that he had transmuted himself into invisibility. Also he claimed to have often been in China. Yet also that did not correspond to the truth, because he never left the European area. When he explained again that he must now travel to China, then, in his journey, he went only to Berlin, where he had to give an account of his deeds and works in the stronghold of the sects, and where he then also received new orders. Very astonishingly, the sect alchemists instructed him also, in these times, in alchemistic matters, whereby they rejuvenated him many times, also through their best means and through small and fine facial operations, whereby he also always awoke the impression that he did not age, but rather was constantly about 40 years old. This was brought about in Berlin, in the stronghold of the sects of that time, but which no longer belonged to the actual mother sect, rather it was a splinter group that had established its seat there. The high seat of the real mother sect was namely in Vienna, and Saint Germain also worked for that. So he worked for 4 different masters at the same time, namely for Franz, for Friedrich the Great in Germany, who was his best and most benevolent defender, for the splinter sect stronghold in Berlin, and for the actual mother sect stronghold in Vienna. As Saint Germain died at the age of 73, his alleged immortality could only thereby be saved by the Berlin sect always again and again seeking suitable men who resembled the appearance of Saint Germain. They performed fine face alteration operations on them so that they were even more like the deceiver. These men stepped into appearance then after his death, to appear personally as Saint Germain, after which they were instructed over long years by the sect members in all kinds of knowledge and abilities. Out of these splinter sectarians then developed, in the course of time, a fanatical religious sect that yet today secretly drives its mischief, and has also founded sister societies, and so forth. But the founding sect has not, up to today, left off seeking out suitable men which they make compliant with horrendous amounts of money, and whose appearance resembles Saint Germain's, and that they then changed and made into initiates, through engagement of operations on the facial characteristics and through alchemistic and magical teachings, who are, however, in truth, only better conjurers, who they then allow to present themselves as Saint Germain, and indeed until the current time. Billy says, actually a long story. I find it all quite vile, however. Semjase says, the earth human has never yet known scruples, if he wants to obtain a goal. The end.